Upper cross syndrome is a postural disorder that affects the musculature of the neck, shoulders, and the mid-back. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize upper cross syndrome, as well as some postural cues and yoga positions that you can use to help correct it. So I'm going to have Wade turn to the side so we can assess his posture. So in a normal posture, we see that his ear is lined up with the first third of his shoulder. That explains why he has a nice curve here, the nice C-shaped cervical curve, as well as a subtle but defined thoracic curve or through the mid-back. Now we're going to look at what a patient with upper cross syndrome looks like. We've already lost that nice C-shaped curve in the neck. The shoulders are rounding forward and up, and you can see that the pecs and the chest are kind of caved inward. So we've also looked at the ear canal and noticed that it's not lining up with the shoulder anymore. It's jutting forward. This syndrome was first described by Dr. Vladimir Janda, who is a Czech neurologist. He talked about muscle groups being dysfunctional in two ways. Either they're over-facilitated or they're inhibited. Now, when we think of an over-facilitated muscle, for our terms, for the general terms, we think of them being too strong or over-contracted. So the muscles that are over-facilitated or tight and too strong for their own good in upper cross syndrome are the upper trapezius muscles right here. You can also see the sternocleidomastoid mastoid muscles in the neck, or the SCM muscles. You can actually visibly see that when the head juts forward, those muscles automatically contract. And then also the pectoralis muscles in the front part of the chest. You can see that when they're contracting, they're kind of pulling the shoulders forward. So what's happening at the same time, we have all of these muscle groups that are tight, and they're visibly tight, are the muscles that are inhibited or weak, and they are just as equally as important in upper cross syndrome. So the muscles that are weak or inhibited are the middle trapezius muscles. So right through here, in a normal posture, go ahead and stand up for us, Wade. You can see that the middle trapezius are supporting the mid-back and also the shoulder blades. But in upper cross syndrome, they're kind of stretched out, not doing their jobs, and allowing the shoulder and the whole rib cage to round forward. The other muscles that are inhibited, or as we would say weak, in upper cross syndrome are the deep neck flexors. So they're deep to this aspect of the neck. And because that's when they're weak, they're allowing that chin to kind of jut forward. And the other muscle group that is weak in upper cross syndrome or inhibited are the serratus anterior muscles, which connect to the rib cage, and they're also extremely important muscles for scapular support and shoulder blade motion. So we're thinking about over-contracted or too strong of a muscle and a weak muscle, but that's not the entire picture. Remember that Janda was a neurologist, so he thinks about how muscles work and as far as their function goes, not just their tone. So when I look at this upper trapezius muscle, as a wellness professional, I can notice that the muscle is tight. I feel that its tone is tight, but it's not just tight, it's over-facilitated, meaning that it's quick to react. Have you ever been in a yoga posture and you feel that you just can't get out of your upper traps? You just feel that they're overworking with everything you do. That's because not only are they tight and strong, they're over-facilitated. So they're too quick to react. You're asking the body to do a task, and they're right there on the front lines. And at the same time, you have the same muscle, but just the different division. The middle trapezius is weak, but it's not just weak, it's inhibited, meaning that you want to do something over the trapezius muscle, over-facilitated contracts, and the middle trapezius doesn't stand a chance. It's weak. It continues to get weaker because you're not using it. So that's more of the picture. It's more of a neurological postural syndrome that manifests or presents with these muscle groups appearing and feeling tight or weak. So let's go over some postural cues to start with that you can help to correct it. The first thing I'm going to have him do is go ahead and pick your chest up. Just having the person pick their chest up You can see that the ear canal is already intersecting the shoulder a little bit better, and that we've got this more of a normal curve here. He's not rounding forward as much. So I have him pick his chest up and then draw your shoulder blades together and down. We can see that when we have him do this, this muscle, it's already softer, it's less rounded and tight, and we're asking this middle trapezius muscle to work. Then the last cue I will have him do is gently pull the chin in straight back towards the base of the skull. This is going to trigger the deep neck flexors to fire and allow your SCM muscles to relax. So these are some postural cues that are extremely effective. And go ahead and face us, Wade. We're going to move it to the mat, and I'm going to show you some yoga postures that you can use as well. The first one is a scapular push-up. I'm going to show you from the side, and I want you to pay attention to the actual shoulder heads, how they're staying pulled back to make sure that you're using your middle trapezius and your shoulder blades rather than up here in your neck using your upper traps. Come on down. So first I'll talk you through it and then you can join in, Wade. So from the side, I squeeze my shoulder blades together and pull the elbows in towards the rib cage. Leaning forward, I start to lower the body down, but keeping the shoulders pulled back. You don't want to round forward. Keep the shoulders lifted and then press straight back up. Good, Wade. Go ahead again. Squeeze the blades together. Pull the elbows in towards the rib cage. Lower down only as so far that they can keep the shoulders pulled back. Now I'm going to have him come all the way down and demonstrate a common error in this posture, which is letting the shoulders dip down and round. So go ahead, start to lower down. The elbows are jutting out, the shoulders are jutting out. Come on back up. And did you notice that he's using more of his pec muscles? We want to keep the elbows pulled back towards the rib cage. He's lowering down. Look at him using these shoulder blades. That's what we want. Go ahead and press straight back up. We'll do 3 more with the breath. The inhale is here. The exhale, you lower down. Good. Inhale, press straight back up. Good. Exhale, lower down. And we'll do 1 more here. Coming up on the inhale, lowering down on the exhale. Press straight back up, and then come onto the knees. This other posture you can do either standing, kneeling, or seated in a chair. You just want to make sure that you have clearance for the hands. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, also reaching the shoulder blades down. You're trying to separate the distance between the shoulders and the ears. So reach those shoulder blades down, Wade. Good. Then from here, arms are straight and strong. Draw your chin in. You're giving yourself a double chin here. So pull the chin in. At the same time, reach for the floor with the fingertips. So this is doing a lot of things. We're strengthening the deep neck flexors in the neck, hence the double chin. We're stretching out the sternocleidomastoid mastoid muscles in the neck. We're stretching the over-facilitated, over-contracted upper trapezius muscles while we're strengthening the serratus anterior. Remember that was inhibited. And we're strengthening the middle trapezius muscle. From the side, you're squeezing and pulling everything down. So these are 2 excellent postures to get you started on to correct upper cross syndrome.